Radio.
Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to Space Lettuce from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Wake up! And a TGIF to you all. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. And my goodness, is it morning. It's definitely morning on a Friday.
It's the morning.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yep, it is. It is. And I'm trying to figure out about Cuban crack right now. And I'm not aware of Cafe Bustelo.
It's a coffee, is it not?
Style instant coffee. Apparently it is.
I think it's got a yellow label.
And
blue text.
Look at you knowing stuff I didn't know. I've seen it. Here the packaging very much resembles another company that has a local coffee here. So I would guess that in my mind, they were a version of that local coffee because truly the packaging is so similar, font and color scheme and sort of like that. So I guess I thought that's what that was just because I never buy it. So I'll check that out. Thanks for the tip there in chat there. I see Piney and Daz speaking about it. I think someone else chimed in, but I'm at a loss to see who it was. Is it Ben? Yeah, I think Ben might have been that one. Anyway, good morning. I'm here. I'm trying to wake up with some non-Bustelo coffee or whatever. That means a lime juice. I don't know.
Gosh.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, wow. And I'm not even over there to say that yet. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Zachary.
My fault. It's always hit and miss. You'd think I'd remember consistently, but I don't.
Nah.
Oh, you've been doing the same thing for this long? Maybe
Yeah,
just won't be able to remember.
That's why I know. It would never.
Walt has to go over there to make sure I have it.
That's what I'm checking usually. Now I'm not even awake enough to do it. Yeah, I'm a little groggy. No sleep, not much. Anyway, I'll wake up here in a minute, I'm sure, when the non-Cuban coffee hits me. What is the name of that show we're doing? Oh, yeah. There we go. That's it. I know those people. I will thumb it. I have thumbed it for the rock band. First thumb on the pen. Second on the that. Yeah. Anyway, is Zack here? Zack.
Yeah.
There he is.
How you doing, Zach?
How you doing?
Just waking up. I'm looking through this article and goodness.
Gonna get your blood pressure up a little bit first thing in the morning?
Well, yeah, there. Okay. The largest experiment of its kind, right? This is the largest experiment that they've done on this. A 4-day work week is better for everybody. They're saying companies can make just as much money only having a 4-day work week instead of your. Yeah. But what about companies that can't shut machines off? How do you do that? Because I worked at a company where you shut machines off. It took, 4 to 5 hours to turn them all back on. You don't just go and flip a switch and turn it off. You don't do that. You can't do that.
Overlapping shifts. Because you could still do 10-hour shifts per individual, 4 days a week. And then have somebody else running.
The 3-day shift, the other.
Well, there's 24 hours in a day. And if you can't turn the machines off, it means you're going to have to be somebody there manning them 24 hours a day.
Yeah, 12-hour shifts.
Okay, 30 days. April. Wait.
I mean,
don't forget the full moon.
But it wasn't 8 hours a day. It was 12 hours a day, 4 days a week.
Oh, yeah. Well, no shit. That works out really great. Oh, you guys have been working 40 hours a week. Well, you know what would make the economy better is if you all worked 50 hours a week. That'd be better for everybody.
That's not what they're saying. I think this is more like, some of them that tried were like a cough lozenge factory. But they started off their business doing this. And how many employees do they? I mean, come on. It probably sounds crazy, but it works. I'm not buying it. This 4-day work. I mean, it sounds great. I wouldn't mind, but you're going to have trouble selling this to the business owners. Saw employee productivity increase.
Well, here's the bitch is that there are companies out there that do this. They're not breaking new ground. This isn't revolutionizing the entire workforce industry. There are companies that run 4-day work weeks.
Sounds nice.
There are companies that run 3-day work weeks. You work 3 12-hour shifts. They spot you the other 4 to get you a 40-hour week. They just round that shit up because you just worked 3 12-hour days. And so what? They're going to come through and make a federal mandate that says all employers must now schedule their employees in this fashion? I mean, some do now, some don't. Some run 3, some run 4, some run 5, some run 6. Hell, if you're a salary employee, fuck you. You can work 7. Nobody gives a shit. You get paid regardless. It's the same amount.
Yep. Oh, my supervisor hated that. That's why I never became a supervisor.
Yeah. That's why it's hard for me to work on Saturdays, is because my boss doesn't want to go in and work for free.
Yeah. The other supervisor would go on vacation and she'd work 2 weeks straight every freaking day. 14 days, sometimes 17 days straight, because it would be like her weekend, her days to come back. And yeah, 17 days straight, 12-hour days. Fuck that. She used to leave like every day early. She'd be like, all right, I'm going to take off. All right, bye.
Even just, I've worked 64 days straight. It's like 63 days straight. They were only 8-hour days, but that's a long time to not have a day off.
Fuck that.
Even 8-hour days, you should have time off.
Mm-hmm.
Can't imagine fucking doing 3 weeks of 12-hour shifts.
Oh, she was a bitch before that. So, but I mean, you kind of have to be when you're a supervisor in a factory. It's just, I don't know, to get all the people to work together. I mean, trying to get 2 older women that don't like each other to work without sitting there arguing and fighting someone near each other. That's a job in itself right there.
Yeah, just getting all your shifts covered every single day and people not calling in.
Yeah. I don't know how many times I had to jump on a line for the first 20 minutes of a shift to wait to see if people are coming, because you don't want to shut the machine down. You don't. It's a pain in the ass. Once you shut those things down, it's not easy. I mean, once you shut it down, you got like 45 minutes to an hour to get it back running, or you don't have to do a whole bunch of shit to it, cleaning out all the, cooled off plastic and all this kind of crap that takes place. And you don't want to shut them down. So yeah, I jump on the machine I'm supposed to be doing my job, but I'm working on the line because we're waiting to see if so-and-so is going to show up. Oh yeah. I don't know how she did it. I don't know. I would have told that place to go walk if I was her quite a few times. But they did get paid very well for what they did. I mean, some days it was a 3-day work week and she was getting paid very well. But yeah, the 17-day straight, yeah, no, not doing that. How about you, Walter? What was your craziest work schedule you had to work?
Oh, I've had a few. I've had quite a few, just depending on what industry I was in at the time.
Are they pretty good to their
Where?
The casinos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't
They're
sound
actually really
convincing
good.
at all.
Well, I mean, it's an evil fucking pit of despair and agony and soul suckingness.
Money off.
It's fucking horrible. I hated every second of it, except, the people that I worked with were great, and I met a lot of friends there. But it's just not a great environment at all. Number one, it's
for immoral
designed to fuck
peddlers of
people over.
sin. They treat their employees pretty well.
Yeah.
Now, was there ever any were you around any dealers that got caught cheating? Is that a thing in casinos?
No, there's none of that. I mean, so yeah, when you're a dealer, there's certain things depending on the game you're on that you could or couldn't do that can or cannot affect the way things fall or don't fall. That being said, you don't really at all have any control on any of it. What that means is, to me, it's always been an energy thing. So if I was at a table and I was losing money, which isn't my money, it's the fucking house's money. I don't give 2 fucks about the house's money because they don't pay me anything extra to keep their money. In fact, the only people who pay me extra regarding the house's money is the players who paid me to give them the house's money. So by getting their tips. And so that's how the dealers make money, is by tips. Their salary is usually capped at the time I was working there, which was like the 90s. It was capped at a ridiculous low amount, like $6 an hour or some shit like that. The rest of what you made was tips. So you were a suck-ass performer who was a little dancing monkey for tips. And so, yeah, it was a soul-sucking hellhole that, basically caused my divorce. And it wasn't great. Like, great food on breaks, good money, interesting amenities to be, to have access to. Like, you would get a birthday to go at the big $100 plate steakhouse for free and things like that. But other than that, yeah, it was hell. It was hell, and it was the only time in my life that I felt that I might need to take some medication. Not drugs, medication.
Did they ever get
I was already on drugs, and that didn't help. Anyway, go. What?
Ask you guys if people won?
Yeah, well, you got punished in their subtle ways. You got punished by being put on a dead table. Being on a dead table for a shift was a hellhole because you had to stand in one position with your hands visible on the surface of the table at all times. And you couldn't talk to people in general when they would just come by and want to shoot the shit. You couldn't just do that. They had to sit down and play, and it was just a whole thing. So yeah, if you were losing money, they would generally pull you from your rotation. I was a very good single deck blackjack dealer to the point that I generally stayed on the $100 table, which meant minimum bet to play was $100.
Oh, so
If it, huh?
you got pretty good tips then.
Oh, I got really great tips when I was losing. They don't tip you much for taking their money. And again, you losing at the $100 table, you generally don't stay there too long. They'll usually give you a couple of shifts, a couple of, top cycles through to try to get it back, quote unquote. And, it's subtle things. Pit boss will come by and tap the back of your foot with his foot and just things like that. And all that means is you better fucking get my money back or change your shuffle, which, okay, so that's where can you change stuff? There are or at my casino, there were 4 legal shuffles that we could do on the game that was single deck. Now, everything else, like the shoe deck, it was a shoot that had the cards. You put them in there, and there was a shuffle you had to do. But once they were in that shoot, they were out of your hands. And once they're in that shoot, it's 6 decks, and they're all coming out like they come out. But on a single deck, you're shuffling every fucking hand, or every 2 hands. So if you know cards and know how to keep up with cards, which most people who are at that stage of dealing blackjack are pretty card savvy, you can keep up with what's going on if you do. And if you get caught counting cards, they kick you out and you're banned and all this kind of shit. The guy that he was one of my best favorite blackjack pit boss. He pit bossed everything, but when he was on our pit, he was the man. And he was old school. Like he had been banned in all the casinos in Vegas. If they saw Bill walk in, they alerted security, and he was the man. He was the man. I would be in awe watching him do his shit. And he was an infamous poker player to the point that nobody wanted to play with him. But one night we all got up into some craziness and drinking, and finally got him to sit down and play with us. And I tied a hand with Bill. I couldn't beat him, but I shared a pot. I split a pot with him. Which part, it broke everybody else's mind that I could even do that. So yeah, it was great. It was fun, but like I said, not a great environment for family life or any of that. If you're single and like evil stuff, then yeah, have a blast.
Yeah, I've been to the casino I think 2 times, and I'm probably one of the few people that are up on the house lifetime. I went in there with $20 both times. First time I walked out with 90 something. And the second time, I don't even think I played. I just walked in.
You came out ahead if you didn't play. If you go in there, eat, drink, and leave without dropping $1, you've won. Yeah, that's a winning night.
Every night. He's like, dude, the food is good. It's cheap. It's free drinks. He's like, dude, I go to the casino. I let my wife, she'll go and play and do her penny slots.
Well, see, that was always the thing I didn't get, because to me, the entertainment value of gambling isn't there. Number one, the house is going to win. They wouldn't have opened the fucking doors in the first place if they weren't going to take the money. That's the design of it all. There's odds, and the house's odds are going to keep their money. So that, to me, already, you're, coming out. Well, I guess my biggest win was actually on those birthday events. And what it was a buddy of mine was sitting on a dead table, because he was a good dealer too, and watching the slot machines across from him. And he had seen them drop it, hitting small, dropping money, hitting small. And he said, that one's going to hit, man. If you got money for slots, go play it and play big, bet big. Which, it was only a $15 pull, I think, for the whole big thing or whatever. So I did that 5 times maybe, and pulled 1,000 out of it. So that was my birthday. Yeah, I think. But going with my family was always fun in Oregon when we take Mom, because she loved to do it. My family likes to do it. So it was fun to have fun with them while they were enjoying it. But I've never gone I think I'm going to the casino tonight, and taken off and gone up there by myself for a casino related reason. It was always karaoke, going to eat, go and meet up with somebody, that kind of thing. Never did I go to a casino and go, I think I'm going to go gamble tonight.
Yeah, my buddy.
That was it.
And he was with me there when I was doing it. He was so mad when I hit that $90 win, because it was on a penny slot, betting a penny. He's like, dude, if you would have done the max bet, you know how much you would have had right now? And he did his max bet every time. and he ran out of money in like the first 20 minutes. I went there with two buddies, and I think I gave like 40 out of that 90 to him to go play more. It was just like, dude, yeah, see, you max bet, but then you sit here with no money the whole time. Don't you get this, Brillo? We're not here to win money. That's not, this building wouldn't be here if that was, the case. It just doesn't happen that way.
Right. Exactly. The house is gonna win. That's why they open the doors.
I saw a concert once at a casino. My sister was having relations with one of the guys from a country music band that was on tour, big headlining band, and they just happened to come through. And they weren't big at the time, but they'd stopped at the casino and were doing a show. So I went and saw them there. I think that my ex-wife and I went once. Maybe. Seems like I've been to a casino twice. I gambled. I pulled the one-armed bandit once, but that was at the Las Vegas airport when I was like 18. As I was passing through Vegas, all I did was I landed and got my next plane. And as I was walking through, I said, "Ooh, Vegas! Of course, there's fucking slot machines in the airport. Are there places where there's not slot machines? Probably not. This is Vegas." So I just went and played and lost and carried on with my day. As addictive of a personality as I have, I've always been amazed at my ability to be completely disinterested in gambling.
Dude, I thought that 100,000 times while I dealt at that place, and people were constantly, because we couldn't play at the casino. You could go in on your birthday and that was it. Otherwise, you were barred from that place. You couldn't go in, but there were other locally accessible casinos, and constantly, people were like, let's go. We know how to do it now. We know the secret. So like, yeah, the secret is you're not going to win. That's the fucking secret. Are you an idiot? What the fuck? But yeah. Oh, man. I never wanted to just go to the casino. That wasn't it ever. Like I said, casino for music. Like, yeah, I saw quite a few bands there. Met some artists. Met Quiet Riot there. Met older Quiet Riot after Kevin was dead and all that. I mean, but yeah, musically it was a great place. I got up there and did a few contests on the stage for their little local star searchy type thing, and won a bit of money doing that, and got to play that money for free. Anytime they gave me free money, I was all about it. Fucking A, as long as it ain't coming out of my pocket, if I could win some more years off your money, fucking A. And they would give you, like, if you're in those contests, sometimes 100, 150, 200, depending on what level you got to, on like the little casino card to go play with. Yeah, I'll throw that in there and usually give it all back. But I don't think, since they quit the casino, the karaoke over there, we talked about that the other day. How the hell did they survive the 2-year shutdown, So, yes, Daz, it was quite epic. Even at the late date that I saw them, they were still jamming. Oh, dude, I would have loved to sing Quiet Riot in '83, dude. That's prime. Was it Carlos or was it still Randy at that point? It had to be Carlos, I guess, by that point, yeah. I was a bit into Quiet Riot. Definitely other crazy works though, like other places, like working in the oil field, it depended on who you worked for. You would be out there for 14 and come home for 7. You'd be out there for 21, come home for 14. Some people were lucky enough to work 7 on, 7 off. Then the other side, reconstruction, some of those shifts would go from anywhere to like a 12-hour, 4 days straight, having the OSHA guys in there making you derobe out of the secure protective gear and the mask that they wouldn't let you wear for more than 20 fucking minutes at a time, and stuff like that. So different.
Is that dangerous to your health?
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, you're not supposed to keep inhaling your own excretions, believe it or not. That's why they're called excretia. Anyway, yeah, it was. Yeah, various stuff. Even the tugboat has its own life. Like right now, my buddy goes from working anywhere from like 14 days straight to sometimes he's out there 4 weeks straight, and I don't know what that's all about. I think he's doing a lot of overtime and a lot of working for people, but still, I just don't get the shifts. That's crazy. But yeah, I've worked some crazy shifts. Crazy shifts.
So I found something awesome that got me happy. 2 medical marijuana bills introduced in the South Carolina General Assembly.
Nice.
And it's from like both houses. Bipartisan bill. And then it's a really short article. It just talks about some advocate groups that think it's a great idea and are giving it praise, and then the article ends. It's like 2 paragraphs. I'm hoping that's a good thing. You know, usually you'll have, oh, this is why it shouldn't go through, and blah, these people are blah, 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 but I'm not seeing any of that. That'd be nice. There's so many people around here that need that kind of stuff. I know when they did that in Indiana, just passing CBD to be legalized, cannabis is still illegal there, even medically. But when they passed the CBD, there were like 6 or 7 people in my factory that all got off of pain pills in like within a week. And we're just taking a couple drops of CBD in the morning now instead of eating 3 or 4 or 5 pills throughout the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's the end of the first half of the first half of the Ironworx right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFR Live. Stick around. We've still got the second half of the first half yet to come. Maybe some space lettuce. Who the hell knows? We're just playing it by ear. Stick around.
It's not okay for you to be a weak loser. It's not okay. And the reason it's not okay is because you could be way more than that.
There's somebody sitting home right now. There's a young 10-year-old kid sitting home that don't have a father. And he's ready to join the gang. He's ready to give up. I'm telling you, don't give in. And don't ever give up.
It's a crime, an ethical crime, for you to allow all that necessary potential to go to waste. It hurts you, it hurts your family, it hurts the world. Really, really, it does.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. By Christine, great for heart palpitations. By Ann, before I started using this product, every afternoon my ankles and my hands would be swollen. That doesn't happen anymore. So if that part of their advertising is true, I have to assume that the rest of it is also. Not to mention that when I had my yearly blood test, only a few weeks after beginning to use this product, my cholesterol had dropped over 30 points. I'm going to continue to take it. By Croc, I love this product. It really works. By Brad, works great, thank you. Tell us your story. Get your Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
For millennia, mankind has been searching for answers to the big questions, such as, where did the universe come from? Where did we come from? Why are we here? Are we alone? And just what the heck is the Sasquatch all about? I can't promise you answers, and neither can the Woo Crew, but they invite you to join them Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, midnight in the UK, for Freaky Friday, exclusively on Truth Frequency Radio. Spirituality, multiverse, quantum mechanics, the occult, and so much conspiracy analysis that it will make your mind melt. Take my word for it. Freaky Friday. It's more than a show. It's a way of life. I am Stephen Hawking, and I am proud to be a Wookiee.
No
No hate. No hype. No fear. We are TFR. Frequency Radio.
This is Michael Tyson. You probably know me better as Iron Mike, but I don't go by Iron Mike no more because I used to be a monster. I'm a different person now. I'm all about happiness. But what is happiness? I'll tell you what happiness is. Every time I listen to my favorite show, Iron Realm Media, it's a truther show on YouTube.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworx. TruthFrequencyRadio.com, TFRLive.com. Indeed. Indeed, and in fact. And in truth.
Indeed. In fact. Indeed.
In truth.
Oh, goodness.
Now they're talking about a 4-day week for the school year. Have you heard anything about that?
Not that.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that either.
In Texas, San Elizario, Texas. Transition to a 4-day work and school week. 41 school districts across the state of Texas are already operating on a 4-day week. Really?
I think there are schools around here that do that too, or at least through parts of the year, or I don't know. There was something, but I know it wreaks havoc on the parents and their work schedules. Well, because everybody works 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. So if we can just now adjust that so that everybody works different hours, right? We just mandate. It's not like there's different shifts, right? Dolly Parton has laid down the law as to what the work week shall be.
Dolly World.
Dude, they made a movie out of a fucking song. Guys, think about that for just a minute. Just think about it. Think it through and then go back to sleep. A bad song.
As opposed to Convoy.
No, out of a bad song. I was clarifying. I was clarifying. See, they made a bad movie out of a bad song. With Convoy, they made a bad movie out of a great song. Oh, God.
9 to 5 was funny.
I don't. But I have a very distinct comedic taste, and it doesn't run to the slapstickiness of that movie or a lot of movies that are out there in the world. And it definitely wasn't my cup of tea. There was like 2 Dabney Coleman movies that I enjoy. One of them was On Golden Pond. And the other was that weird movie where the kid and the spy and all that shit. And I didn't really understand it. I think I was really high when I saw it. And it was probably the first or second time I ever got really high and went to a movie. So I don't really understand that movie greatly. Was he a real dude? Was it a fake dude? Was it imaginary? Not really sure. I was really high. Nobody remembers that movie at all.
I don't think so. I was never a Dabney Coleman fan.
Right, exactly my point. He happened to be in On Golden Pond, and he happened to be in some movie that I watched about a spy. Let me go see what that other one is. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to come back to me now, but I can't remember what it is. But the spy movie. I think wasn't he in a TV show as well?
Cloak and Dagger. That would be Cloak and Dagger. Yep, 1984.
Well, I haven't
There it
seen
is. I remember that fucking cap. I hated that fucking character. Anyway, what is this? Let's see. So his dad is a military air traffic controller. He imagines the fantasy world of Cloak and Dagger and espionage role-playing game. So it was imaginary. See, again, I didn't even remember the movie at all. Just that it had, like, wasn't the E.T. kid in it or something? Yeah, there he is. Shout out Henry Thomas. Couldn't find his name. It took a minute. I just saw him on the poster.
So the district attorney says Alec Baldwin will be charged with manslaughter in that fatal shooting on the set of Rust.
Okay, so I haven't looked at this at all, and I should have, but I haven't. And the reason I say I should have is because about a week and a half ago, I watched this thing on one of our new streamers that we're now streaming about cursed films. Movies that had accidents, movies that had things happen to cast members before, during, and after the making of certain movies. Poltergeist is one of them. Exorcist is one of them. And The Crow is one of them. The Crow, in which a gun wasn't checked properly. A barrel wasn't cleared. A dud bullet, fake bullet, whatever, left a wad inside of the fucking barrel. And when the next fake bullet got shoved in there and fired at Brandon, it pushed out that wad. That's what killed him. It wasn't a real bullet that got snuck into the gun. It wasn't the dragon curse. I mean, it could have been the dragon curse, but it wasn't, any of the things most people thought it was. It was that. It was somebody on the set not doing their job properly, which is what I get from just reading these headlines around the Baldwin thing, because him and the stunt coordinator person are going to be charged with this crime. Now, how did this happen on the Crow set? And no one was charged with the crime. The guy who pulled the gun, pulled the trigger, the guy who loaded the gun, the guy who should have checked the gun. None of those people were ever charged, brought up, vilified in the press, run into fucking dirt, like I've seen happen with this situation. I know Baldwin said some shit right after the thing happened. Maybe he shouldn't have, and I don't even remember those details at all again because I didn't look into it because I don't really care about what's news shit. But the fact that this all has happened before, and either all got swept under the rug because it was a fucking ritual killing they needed to do, or they're trying to fucking bury Baldwin for some reason, for some shit he said or whatever. It all just seems like that is a bunch of political crap, and it has no reality in, like, legal shit or safety in movies or any of that. Sorry, I just...
Well, as I recall, there were several safety violations that had been going on prior to this that had been brought to people's attentions. And I don't even think that they were supposed to be recording this particular shot. It was just sort of a afterthought or an unscheduled shoot. And it was basically just like to get him maybe raising the gun or turning with the gun or something. It wasn't supposed to be anything. It was just this one-off sort of real quick shoot. And then he took it upon himself as he had the gun raised and he turned, or as he raised the gun and aimed it, he felt it would be more, realistic, I guess, if he pulled the trigger. And because he was aiming it at the camera, because that was the shot, he raised the gun, pulled the trigger, and killed somebody. But pulling the trigger was not in the script. I think there were things that were done by him specifically that causes him to be liable, as opposed to just writing it off.
There you go. So you looked way more into it than I did. So.
Not at all. This is just bullshit I remember having heard months ago when it first happened.
Yeah, they're saying he's going to get 6 months probation.
Absolutely.
And possibly 5 years if something goes through. Because when you add a gun to manslaughter charge. It adds like something to it in New Mexico. I don't know. You know how laws in every state are a little bit different. Yeah, they said there's something in here about on my watch, no one is above the law and everyone deserves justice. Okay, after a thorough review of the evidence and the laws of the state of Mexico, I've determined that there is sufficient evidence to file criminal charges against Alec Baldwin and other members of the Rust film crew. Involuntary manslaughter is a fourth-degree felony and is normally punishable by up to 18 months behind bars and a $5,000 fine, prosecutor said. But a firearm enhancement on the charges could make the crime punishable by a mandatory sentence of 5 years in jail. Could make the crime. So they always like to throw those words in there. Could, would, should, possibly. That's one of them words. Yeah, you always got to pay attention for those words, don't you? Because that's pretty much saying, well, it's going to be this way, or
right,
it's not.
Or it's going to be some other way that we're not going to mention that we don't know, which basically negates the entire premise of writing this article, but for the fact that I get paid by the word to write it. So here's 1,000 words about fuck all, because who knows what could happen? Anything could happen.
We were talking to Walter's brother the other night about Jordan Peterson.
Right.
Man, what they're doing to that man is crazy. But the funniest part is he's still out there doing interviews and stuff. It hasn't stopped him one bit. And I love listening because he doesn't go and do interviews all that much. I mean, he does, but most of the people are there to try to get the gotcha, on him and put him in his place and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And he does so well at pulling their bullshit apart. He just has a way about it, like telling people you're insane without saying it just like that. But I don't know. I love the way that man speaks. It's just, it's interesting. I mean, they have really nothing they can do to him with his career. At this point, he's not practicing psychology anymore. He hasn't been for years. So take his license away. Do you think that's going to stop him from going around speaking and giving, lectures and doing interviews? No. He doesn't need a psychology degree to do that. The internet has totally changed things to where we don't need, NBC or CBS as our middleman anymore. Fox News, we don't need these people anymore. Jordan Peterson has his own YouTube channel. I think. I don't know. He might. I usually just see him on other people's interviews and whatnot, or people covering them. But yeah, the way the system is set up now, the system has made itself somewhat a non-player anymore. They were the middleman, and the internet has removed them from being the middleman now. It's no longer we have to go through these certain channels to get information or even entertainment. Yeah, it's interesting. This whole internet thing, what were they thinking? Just how dumb.
They were thinking they could have a big pool of information and media that people could get sucked into, that they could then manipulate in any way possible and create all kind of fucking rabbit holes and distractions and scare tactics. And I don't know, just my opinion. I think it's just what they wanted it to be. Add the dark web to all that, and yeah, it's exactly what they wanted it to be. A way to fuck people up.
Well, it creates people like the Psychology Association or the school that gave Jordan Peterson his accreditations. And they're saying, well, we're just going to pull him away now because that's how important we are, because we live in this little echo chamber where we live to jerk each other off and tell each other how important we are, to the point that if people don't say what we like, that have graduated from our school, we'll threaten to pull our accreditations, and that will stop him. Well, no, you clueless fuck. You're just making waves in your own little pool. Nobody gives a shit. I doubt Jordan Peterson particularly cares. I'm sure there's some fondness of having his alma mater and his time spent there, but let's be honest, I don't think he particularly cares. Because it's not going to slow him down. It's not going to, oh, well, we had him scheduled to speak, but now it appears Jordan Peterson no longer has a PhD. Nobody gives a shit. But that's what the internet does too, is it also creates the echo chambers where as long as everybody agrees and we can just stay in our own little section of the internet, and nobody will have to ever hear from us because we'll think we're causing change and doing things, and maybe our echo chamber gets bigger. Sometimes it gets smaller, but there it is that we stay.
Yeah. I still, if I was them, I wouldn't have given it to the public. No. I mean, they were already collecting data. They've been collecting data forever. But yeah, I could see that being more of a weapon, Josh, creating your little safe space.
Sure.
This is stay in your lane, boy. Lane, boy. But we go where we want to.
And I think
this thing is a highway. I'll stop.
You kind of see it now with the way they're coming after some of the conservative speakers. I've said before that about 7 or 8 years ago ish, some of the big dark money went and started investing billions of dollars into independent media, people on the internet. And then pretty soon you started seeing all these big names start to blow up, big podcasters and these big names in conservatism. And again, it's like a long game. I would not be surprised if all the people that are going after these folks are also the same people that invested money in them in the first place. Is we'll just raise them up on a bit of a pedestal, and we'll just come through when we're ready and knock them the fuck down so nobody will listen to them. Like, oh, here's who you need to listen to. Never mind. You need to listen to us. And I think that's a lot of what they do.
And a lot of them, you can tell that they've been propped up. They all have the exact same background, the same click these links, on the left-hand side. And it's got all their, I mean, they're so professionally done looking, but they're all the same. There's like these 5 people that all cover the same topics. Some are left-leaning, some are right-leaning, but they all look the exact same. Different people, different, words that they use, but the background. You could tell the background was designed by the same, company or person or whatever. They're all like part of the same group, just talking heads for different people.
Yep.
Daz in chat wrote, the Ice-T effect. Get too good singing about how the police are out of control, so they buy him off and make him act as a policeman. I love it. You mean like when someone eats too much chocolate cake? No, I'll stop.
I was thinking how things are much sweeter in the South. That's the Ice-T effect.
Oh, there is that. There is that.
This one gentleman, his name's Matt. Been to every single flat Earth meetup I have, the international conferences, the all the Flattoberfest, Solo Returns. I've seen him at all of them. He's never been in a YouTube chat. This is the only place I ever get to see him. But when he was in Denver, he was freaking out because nobody in the state of Colorado had real sweet tea. He's like, dude, I'm going through withdrawals. My blood is like 75% sweet tea. I can't do this anymore. Yeah, he was just having the worst time trying to find real tea in Colorado. He said they don't know how to do sweet tea out here. Yeah, I got a kick out of that. Yeah, there is a huge difference between regular tea and sweet tea and the way you make it. It's not just pouring sugar into regular tea and calling it sweet tea.
Exactly. I was going to say there's a big difference between sweet tea in the north and sweet tea in the south.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think the whole iced tea effect is really a thing. Threw me off when we got into Law and Order. Oh, yeah. I guess there is that iced tea too. Iced tea, not iced tea. Gotcha.
The guy who wrote the song Cop Killer that has played a cop for like 2 decades now on television.
Yeah, but he's a no-nonsense, streetwise cop that'll tell you like it is.
Right.
I think his best movie performance was in Break-In. He was the guy that did the rap battles, the epic rap battles. He was the announcer. Don't get mad, ozone, blah, blah, blah. I forget. Yeah. No, that's me. Nice T. He's done some good stuff, I guess. I don't want to say. I don't know. Can't really think of a movie that I thought he was great in. He was in that one with Keanu Reeves, Johnny Mnemonic. He was horrible in that. Just horrible in that.
Wow, that movie's so bad I didn't even remember it existed.
I had blocked it too. I'm like, oh,
epic.
fuck,
Wow.
right. Oh, that's right. He did that movie. That's a thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Woo.
Blast from the past there, huh?
That definitely was. I put that right over there with what was the movie with Keith Jagger in it? Free Jack or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. That was horrible.
Oh, it was painful.
Wasn't that the one with the race car driver?
Something. Yes.
Yeah. He wrecked a race car, but they actually took him to the funeral. And his car owner they never found a body. Like, okay, you watch a car explode. You see the guy driving it. You go to recover it, and the body's just gone. And what do you do there? I mean, what do you... It was just a dumb movie. Okay, it was just dumb. But yeah, his owner couldn't gather the insurance to keep his business going, and that's why in the future he sold him out so he could get back on top or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, dumb movie, real dumb.
Carrie Woolley knows 6 a.m. I did go through a little period, I guess, about the time that he put out damn it, what was the name of the album? I don't know, but it had like all the stuff he took from like the Halloween movie riff was in one of the songs. Led Zeppelin's Let It Break Drums were in another song. It had all kind of little stuff that keyed me into it. And he was talking about stuff that wasn't just self-glorification like most rap was at the time. My mind is my weapon and all these kind of little things to convince us he was a good dude and not just somebody trying to be a star. Anyway, I did listen to that album considerably in college, listening to hanging with other people, and was like, yeah, this is good. It's got music I like in it. They stole some stuff I like, so I guess I can listen to it. Oh wait, I'm sorry. They creatively re-borrowed some reiterations thereof of a mix that's not quite the same as original songs that I liked. Is that the better way to legalese your way out of it? What's up, Rio? Good to see you over here this morning.
We're getting real close.
This is crazy, dude. We haven't been eating a lot of eggs lately, so I haven't really noticed this. You know, people, because egg prices are rising, people are smuggling eggs across the border.
Yeah, I keep seeing, Michelle keeps talking to me about egg prices going up everywhere, and everybody's freaking out over $8 eggs. And I'm like, where and who? Because I'm not. I won't. They can kiss my ass.
That high, yeah, but
I mean, I'm not gonna.
So
now, don't get me wrong. If you're wanting, like, you know, cage-free, no hormones, blobbity blarbity blibbity blop in our stores locally, you'll pay $7 or $8 for that carton of eggs. But you know, eggs. You know, I heard people were wearing less hats these days. They're getting smaller, Daz, is what it is. Couldn't even finish that one. But all right, I'm sorry. It's almost break time, I bet. Yeah, it is. Look at that.
Pretty dang close. We got about 30 seconds. We'll hear some break music. We'll just thank everybody there in chat. Everybody hanging out, listening, not in chat, just chilling, starting their morning off.
You don't even have to be in chat. Exactly. We love you too.
Indeed, we do. But luckily, we're only halfway through the show. We've still got another full hour coming up. We got piles of space lettuce we've not even touched.
We haven't even looked at it, even. So
that's probably true. There's probably things in there I've not even seen. Headlines I've yet to read and ignore. But anyway, There's the music. So much friggin' nonsense in the world today. It's hard to pick through it all. Luckily, our audience is smart and discerning. And here joining us on truthfrequencyradio.com, TFRlive.com, also across the interwebs, Ironworx, Iron Realm Media. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Ella, and I'm 10 years old. I'm one of the millions of children born to parents suffering from the sheeple virus. Symptoms include the inability to think for oneself, the attention span of a goldfish, and a strong belief in government and the mainstream media. It is estimated that 1 out of every 2 children are being raised by parents infected with the sheeple virus. But there is a cure. For as little as 19 cents per day, you can become a TFR supporter and help children like me get their daily dose of truth. Together, we will make sure every child has protection from deception.
And then I see a picture, I say, Nancy Pelosi, well, where's her man? And I'll tell you what, she must have treated that beauty salon owner pretty badly. She uses the salon and the salon turned her in. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. How much do they hate Nancy Pelosi? This is a big crazy Nancy. Just like the biggest story. Highly overrated person. What did you say? They just turned off the camera because they don't want me saying that. And the salon turned her in. If she was set up, then she shouldn't be leading. You know what she should have done, honestly? She should have said, I made a mistake. And then she made a terrible mistake. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up.
As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. I don't wear a mask when I'm washing my hair. Do you wear a mask when you're washing your hair? I've been there many, many times. I always have a mess. Since we passed the bill, I always have a mess. Now I just had my hair washed. I just came out of the bowl. Now I just had my hair washed. And that's all I'm going to say.
I was set up. I was set up. You're not supposed to get set up. I was set up. I was set up.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The wicked one, obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in where you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on The Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Happy Friday, my friend.
And a happy Friday indeed.
Just let you all know, Grounded Extracts will be joining us tonight for the Have No Sphere show on Iron Realm Media Friday night YouTube. It's gonna be awesome. I love James. The guy just brings so much knowledge and just a great attitude, just the love, and you could tell that he's just a good dude. You can. I can't wait. Maybe Naj will be joining us. I know they've got the three little ones there, and all of them are, 5 or under. So it's a handful. Definitely a handful when you have.
Put them in the kitchen. Let them entertain themselves. They're good for a few hours.
We might see Naj. We might even get to see the children. I don't know. I think they're pretty protective of putting their children online, which is smart.
Mm-hmm.
A good thing. So we probably won't see him tonight. We might. I think I've seen Sammy on the screen before. He's come in and waved and said hi. So we might see a special guest appearance from the boys.
Yes, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Real quick, I don't want to spend too much time on this, and I can't find it. I was going to drop the link in the chat for folks to check it out themselves. But imagine that, I can't find it. But UFC fighters, I got to give big shout out to some of these UFC fighters during interviews, taking their time to just, ask them questions. Nah, I didn't see the whole interview. I only saw this one part, so I don't know if this gentleman brought this up or if he was asked a question that led to this. But he was talking about the Ghislaine Maxwell case and the Epstein case. Okay, so we found that they were trafficking children. And, she got 20 years for that. Okay. But he's asking a very important question. Where's the list? Isn't it a crime to actually do this to children? I know transporting them from one place to another against their will, that's horrible. Horrible. Should never be done. But the people receiving the children did horrible things to them. So where are these people? There's lists, right? There's all kinds of lists. Where's the list?
And where are the children?
Yeah. Because it could go way beyond just, child molestation or something horrible like that. Exactly. Where are these children? So, yeah, big props to these guys because they're talking about stuff that is very taboo. Look what they did to the guy in charge. They just erased. We can't let this get out. Everybody's talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard while this was going on. That was the biggest thing in the world at the time. You guys get it now? Why they made such a big deal about Johnny and Amber and it was all over you get it now? Yeah, because there was real stuff going on and they didn't want anybody focusing on it at all. So big shout out to those brave guys in the UFC for asking important questions because that's the only time they get to do it, they could start their own podcast or this or that, but when they're on TV doing interviews, they're going to reach a lot more people, right? So they're taking that time to go out there and say, hey, where are these people at? Yeah, questions that need to be answered.
To whom were these tiny little humans trafficked?
Mm-hmm. And then I went to go look for it today because I saw it passed my feed last night. And I clicked on it. I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And I searched YouTube, couldn't find that video. And then I tried searching Google and couldn't find anything on it. Let me look back through my history and see if it's in there still. But yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's where's the reporters at in this country? You have a job as well. You have a responsibility to disseminate real news and not push an agenda. I couldn't sleep at night being these people.
Can you imagine having to cross Bill and Hillary Clinton as a reporter in Arkansas in, say, the 70s or the 80s? Watching people around them just mysteriously die one after another. How well do you think you would sleep at night going against them?
Yeah, I know. That's a long list, too. People mysteriously just up and disappeared while investigating. Wow, I cannot find it in my history either. And I know I'm back beyond work. Wow.
You got Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura. Take it off of everything. It was a short as well. Maybe I'm not looking. Let me see.
You do have a shorts history too somewhere. I don't know how to find it. I found it finally the other day trying to find a video of a space shuttle. Oh, I can't even get it all out. Sorry. A space shuttle fuel tank orbiting the Earth. Let me show you. Hold on. It's epic.
Nope, it's gone. That's wild.
While you're looking.
Yeah, I can't believe that.
Guys was sleeping. I was going to be controlled from the ground. I told them we weren't going to do that. And now, apparently,
Like you do.
we're not really sure. So, might be maneuvering this evening while you're sleeping.
That's not a helium-filled rigid balloon or anything. That's a fully metal tank. Fully metal.
40,000 pounds.
Fully metal. Like, I think that's as metal as anything we've been talking about concert-wise right there.
Finally, we have
Oh, a special UFO went by. Y'all saw it? Oh, and the burn.
And that's definitely the Earth underneath it, not the sky
Well, yeah,
above
it's not
us.
looking up at the sky above it. No. What would you be thinking, Josh? You're looking down from space, man. Come on. All right, I just had to share that one. It's a laugh, little lark.
Yep, it's definitely not in any of my history anymore. It's been removed.
Do you remember what the fighter's name was?
No, he was a black man.
Is it UFC champion Israel Adesanya calling for the authorities to release the names of the elites linked to Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein's decades of sexually abused young girls?
I think it was him.
Go to Breitbart.com.
Okay.
I will drop the link in.
So Ian does say there, sometimes videos are still rendering in the high definition version. Maybe it'll come back when it's finished. I know sometimes with our own show, I'll go to try to grab something and it's not there until it's finished doing its full load dropping. But, you know, I could be wrong. Excuse me.
Yeah, and he's one of the bad boys of the UFC.
It's a bad boy.
Bad boy, bad boy.
Oh, this is great. You'll love this one, Walter. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers cat calendar is so bad it's gross. It has like these cranes, giant cranes working, and then it's just a house cat, but it's like huge in the background of it, doing like a yawn. It looks like it's roaring. Yeah, I like funny stuff like that.
Where's that at? Link it to me.
Yeah, I will. Oh.
Damn it. Now I'm going to be distracted. Daz, thanks. Go ahead. I'll bring it up in a minute.
I'm not sure. It was something, I'm not looking at it, but I wanted to talk about it. I think we talked about it Wednesday. I got to write stuff down, man. My memory is so horrible.
Give it a couple years.
But something I definitely wanted to bring up that, I don't know. It'll come to me. It'll come.
Well, Daz has me distracted now. I saw someone talking about Van Halen in Mobile in the 80s. I was like, well, that'd have been a concert to see, but he was talking to Daz. So I went back up and I have seen now that Daz has asked, if you had a time machine, what concert would you pop into? And so now I can't stop going through all the possibilities in my head and trying to figure that question out. Daz, thanks.
I'd go see Jimmy.
I thought about Jimmy, and it would be Jimmy doing the Bob Dylan song, Like a Rolling Stone, the one where he says, yeah, just let me play my guitar. That concert, that makes me feel so great watching him play that song. But I don't know if that would be it. I don't know if it would be maybe
Beatles Live on Abbey Road.
I don't know. No, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that. No, it would probably be like I don't know. I have to think about it. I really do, because there's so many I would say I would like to see. I'd say, oh, I got to see Randy Rhoads. Saw Randy Rhoads. I don't know. Let me think. But you guys talk while I'm thinking. Don't wait for me to come up with the answer. What about you?
Where would I go
Josh?
see? I would see like Mozart jamming out on a.
That would be awesome. I actually had the thought of Paganini. That actually went through my head because I've always been a huge Paganini fan. He was like the first rock star. Truly, he was. They said he sold his soul to the devil to have his playing ability on the violin. Like he could make a violin imitate animal noises, say the name of whatever lady he was currently screwing at the time, be it some uppity, married lady or whatever. He could make the violin say their name in concert. He had fucking handkerchiefs with his silhouette for sale. He had the first fucking merch shit happening, dude. He was a fucking superstar. So yeah, he would be one I would definitely like to see.
See, it's so hard though because
I know, me too. There's so many. I couldn't even narrow it down. I would just pop from one to the other to the other.
and there's bands that are great in studio, but you go and see them live, and it's like, are these the same guys? Like, I mean, granted, they were in their 60s when I saw them, but I saw Page and Plant. I saw the Stones. I was not impressed at all. Like the music, just musically. Now, I know they're 60, so I'm not expecting them to jump around and be doing handsprings or anything. But the music was, it didn't sound like.
You mean it sounded like a band that had been doing the same fucking music for like 50 years every night of their fucking lives? Is that what it sounded like?
It didn't even sound like that. It sounded like a garage band that had a lead singer that kind of sounded like the lead singer. Musically, I was not impressed. And that's when I was super into music. And, you go see a live band and it sounds similar to the album. And then they throw in some extra riffs and guitar solos on top of that. And you're just blown away. But you go and see these bands, especially when you pay $65 in the 90s to go see some of these bands. And you're like, what? Who is this? Really? This is. And then I was like, well, it couldn't have been like this always. So I went and bought some, live concerts from the 70s from Zeppelin and the Stones. Garbage. It sounded like crap. There are studio bands. The Beatles were the same way. They were not good live. They're great in the studio, but when you get awesome live, the Allman Brothers, the American band, those guys were just acoustic guitar phenoms. I mean, they played just well together. And it wasn't like they were offbeat or anything like the Zeppelin or the Stones. It was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You could tell what song it was. It wasn't that bad, but it just didn't sound good, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Perfect.
Who you want to go see in history, because you might be really disappointed.
What? Shout out Martin, Martini and Rossi hitting the chat. Martin Leaka. I was just talking about you in the Y-Files live chat last night, because he was talking about having done research on Tartaria, but having not assembled video on it yet, and how it was going to take a long time because he had a whole lot more research to do. So I pointed him your way, sir. If you haven't checked out the Y-Files, the Y-Files, great fun to be had there. I enjoy it. Hecklefish is my spirit animal, without a doubt.
Yeah, what about the original Skinner?
I never was a Southern rock dude. Having grown up here, I never was. Most people from the South don't really like Southern rock, believe it or not. I don't anyway. It just wasn't ever my, like, growing up, didn't dig it. Going back to it, never got it. Just didn't get it. It wasn't my feel, my thing.
See, the Allman Brothers was kind of like Southern rock, but they had so many songs that weren't. rock, in my opinion. Like
38
Mullet.
Special would be about as Southern rock as I get, and definitely more of their album deep cuts than the radio hits that you would have heard probably. That's about it. And some, like one Molly Hatchet album that my cousin had that I like to draw the album cover to while I would listen to it in the background, and I would just go, I don't understand. This heavy-looking, awesome album cover and this music don't go together. This should be, I should be listening to like Sabbath or something coming out of this stereo with this kind of album cover. It definitely didn't work to me, the combination of Molly Hatchet and their album covers.
CCR Tavistock?
Everything is Tavistock, I thought. That's what we decided, right?
That's what I
Yeah, the
default
Stones
to.
weren't great, is what I'm saying. Whoa, another voice has snuck in on me. Is that who I think it is, Mr.? Oh, wait.
Well, there's two of us.
Yeah, we got a pilot.
I was going to say, I thought I saw Zom. I heard Zom, but then I see Andrew. Oh, it is Zombie. Okay.
So what are your
I got
guys'
confused.
Zombie? Who's your go-to? You see a lot of concerts in your day, or?
Not really. I've been to plenty of concerts, but never like, it was never like okay, this week we're gonna go here, and then in 3 weeks we're gonna go here, and then 2 weeks after that, and then, you know what I mean? I was never really like that, but I've always been more into underground music, so I always paid more attention to where smaller groups were gonna be. And I was always more into hip hop. So if you're not up north, it's a little harder to find.
Yeah.
Righto.
When I got down here to Florida, I got to see some good underground artists that I liked a lot. One guy, hands down my favorite artist ever. But every time you say his name, even though he's been doing this since the 80s, if you say his name, everybody says somebody else's name. And his name, the proper name is Aesop Rock. AESOP. Rock. No Y at the end.
My son used to be heavily into them big time. I don't know if he still is, but yeah.
That's awesome. Not very many people know who he is.
Right. That's why I was like, when you said that, I started grin. I got a big grin on my face. Like, oh no shit.
Yeah, he's a mountain of a man. He's got an amazing hip hop voice, which was my original appeal to him. It's very, very deep and throaty, and it's perfect for his style and his flow. But most people think he's a black dude until you either see something with him in it or featured, you know what I mean? And he's just this big ass, silly looking white boy. And he's like, nobody knows who he is. And I got to meet him in Florida, and I literally couldn't even get "Hi, I love your music" out of my mouth. I was just like, and the girl I was dating at the time was like, sorry, he's like a huge fan. And he was, he was like, oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that. And I was just like, and I was in a crowd of people there to see his show. And we were on the side street with like a bunch of food trucks, and everybody's getting food, and he was getting food. And I'm in a crowd of like 200 people there to see him, and nobody knew who he was. Everybody's just walking around and like he's a guy at the show. I was like, y'all are idiots. Y'all are gonna feel real stupid in 30 minutes when he gets on stage.
Hey man, I actually bumped into Sean Lennon. Had no idea who he was at a Beck concert. We were at the Metro in Chicago, and it's like, it holds like 600 people only. You know, it's not a big venue at all. It's a small venue. And I was walking around on the upper deck. I snuck into the VIP area, and I bumped into this guy with big, long, he looked like Howard Stern almost, but I knew it wasn't him. Like, oh, excuse me, man. Sorry about that. I was like, no problem. And kept walking. And then like 10 minutes later, I see him up on stage with these two Chinese chicks. It was horrible. They sounded like Yoko, just screaming with him playing the guitar in the background. It was a fan. But yeah, I actually bumped into one of the Lennons. It was wild.
That's
no idea.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The music you're raised with.
Well, it also just reminds you they're just people. I mean, yeah, some of them don't have souls anymore, but they're just people.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to do a real quick U-turn though, because Zach said something at the start of this segment that got me super excited. I want to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to James from Grounded Extracts. I'm so excited that he's going to be on tonight. And I've actually every week for, I don't know, I think it's been like 6 weeks now, every Mellow Dome, every Sunday, I get in the chat. And one of the first things I say after I say what's up to everybody, I'm always like, yo, where's James? Where's James? Why aren't y'all answering me? Where's James? So that's awesome that y'all are going to have him on tonight.
He's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love the way things just work out, like the synchronicities and stuff. Because I don't remember if it was a morning show or a night show, but it was one of y'all's shows. And he was in chat. And like 2 days before, I was on his website trying to see if he had Shilajit on his website, which is like it's like a men's daily supplement. And he didn't have any on there, but he's got tons of great stuff on there. And so then when I saw him in chat, like the same day or the next day, whatever it was, I was like, yo, can you got any good references for me? Like, I know I've heard you talk about it before, but I didn't see it on your site. And he was like, just email me. And he emailed me back immediately. I emailed him as soon as the show was over. He emailed me back immediately. Like, if it wasn't that night, it was the next morning. And he was like, yo, send me your address. I just got X amount of this stuff. I haven't even put it on the site yet. I'd be more than happy to send you a sample. And I was like, what? No shit. So he sent me a huge, I think it was 200 milligrams, like a big old, or 200 grams, I don't know, huge rock. Like,
yeah, he calls it a sample when it's actually like, a nice supply that you would get charged for out the leg by anybody else.
That's music.
Yeah, it is music. Sure
and
is.
We will get back to you on the next break. After this break. Sorry, brother.
That's it. We'll try to get caught up.
I'm here.
That's right. Andrew's here. Zombie's here. We're hanging out. One more segment coming up right after this.
Every champion has felt it. Every president has felt it. Every king has felt it. Every lion has felt it. Every winner has felt it. Every soldier has felt it. Every victorious person has felt it. The urge to quit. Don't you give up on your dream. I don't care if you don't have the money, you don't have the help, and you don't have the family for it, and you don't have the background for it, and you don't have the friends for it. Don't you give up on your dream. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. It may take you twice as long. You may have to take courses and classes. You might not read as fast. You might not move as quick. You might not have as much, but don't you quit.
Extendivite, a 7-herb combination made from garlic, cayenne, hawthorn, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, valerian, and milk thistle. Extendivite feeds our body with the right nutrients to keep us healthy. Just listen to what Arthur has to say.
I was just calling to tell you what a great product you have. I had used this about 10 years ago after I had congestive heart failure. And it fixed me up and got me going for the last 10 years. Lately, I've been having heart trouble again. So I placed another order because this was the only thing that ever worked. And I just wanted to let you know that you have a great product.
To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Tataria history, starseeds, lightworkers, and indigos. Join me on the Nikki Colombo Show. It's time to reclaim our true history, our true timelines, our cosmic heritage. And remember, be humble, for you are made of earth, and to be noble, for you are made of
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
I'm starting off fresh, and I feel good. I look good. I smells good. I am good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
Well, I'm gonna pick up some of these empties, Lord, as soon as I find where they lay. Tied off them jolly and leaving mines on a long hot summer day. And for every day I'm working on the Illinois River, get a half a day off with pay. Oh, towboat picking up barges on a long hot summer day.
And welcome back to the Ironworks right here, fourth and final segment, kicking off right now.
Oh, I'm going to return it 1 second before you take it, Zom. Daz, after much consideration, Rush for the Moving Pictures Tour would be my top pick of the concert I missed and had the chance to see and didn't. So, yeah. And the second one would be Dimebag concert Alive that I also had a chance to go see and didn't because I had a girl confuse me that weekend. Make me think that I shouldn't go see a concert and hang out with her. So yeah, I was very confused.
Big shout out to Ethan Mahalski in chat too. Good morning, sir.
That's what's up. I saw him. I said, hey, I saw Ben Platt saying he saw Nuge and Aerosmith in Mississippi. I got to know when. Oh, I knew you were there in Mississippi, Dad. We talked about it. So yeah, I worked up there in right outside of Columbus. Oh, damn, what was that little town? Where there's a lot of oil fields going on right outside of Columbus. I worked there probably around that same time, 87, 89, something like that. Anyway, but yeah, Rush. And then back to what you were talking about before we left the break, Zombie. Dude, look, James and that beautiful family of warriors he has, and they're raising together. And it's just an amazing energy feeling. I am so grateful to have them in my life, in our lives.
Yeah.
Sent me
For
a
sure.
great, what he called a long overdue super chat. He said he'd rather give it to me directly than to give it to Google and stuff. I'm like, dude, thank you so much. And it was an incredible gift. And the energy of that box when I opened it made me tear up and cry. In fact, I did an unboxing for them so they could see the reaction when I opened it. And you know what? It's on my channel under private just for them. I'll turn it up for y'all. I'll open it up and let everybody see it. I don't mind. Y'all are my family, so because it really did. It touched me greatly when I opened that up. So give me a minute and I'll go do that.
While you're doing that, part of the reason I wanted to shout him out specifically was because of the She Legit. Like, so I've tried a couple different kinds that I've found in like health food stores and one online. And from everything the first person I ever heard talk about it was one of the guys that was on a Crow episode, probably 2016 or 17, like early episodes in the hundreds maybe. And that's when I started looking for it and looking into it and stuff. And everybody always has such good reviews about it, and like everything you would want to like make. I don't really know how to explain it, because it's not necessarily a testosterone booster. It's just a men's wellness supplement. Like, I guess some monks found some monkeys eating it in the mountains, and the monkeys that were eating it were better monkeys than the monkeys that weren't eating it. But everything I've tried, I never felt any of that. And everybody always said, you know, how good they felt about everything, just overall. And as soon as within like 2 or 3 days of taking his, wherever he got it, he sourced it properly. Like, it works, and I can feel it. I wake up easier. I go to bed easier. I have more energy throughout the day. Not that I'm not still extremely tired all day, but I have more energy. And I can think clear, which I've never really had a issue with cloudy thoughts. So I never really thought about that, but my tongue's not working right now because I'm still asleep, but you know, I do generally feel like I can think clear and rationalize things a little bit better. But
yeah, you got to be careful with, you know, supplements and stuff like that and where you're sourcing them from.
Yeah, well, that's why I was so, like, I looked it up for probably 9 months to a year before I actually found one to try. And it's really, I don't think you can find like I guess it would be considered tar. I don't know, like the raw extract, like what James sent me, you have to buy that online. Like I've never seen that in the store. And so most of what I had was always like powder inside the little clear gel caps.
Yeah, General Nutrition Center type stuff.
Yeah, and that shit just wasn't working. But
No,
James as soon as I started taking it, it's
it's oil that's synthesized to trick your body into thinking that it's this supplement, but it's really just an oil product.
I know how to look for all that stuff, and it claims it's not.
It's not.
And
this is what it's being. This is nuts. So She Legit's a sticky substance found primarily in the rocks of the Himalayas. It develops over centuries from the slow decomposition of plants. She Legit's commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine and is an effective and safe supplement that can have positive effect on your overall health and well-being. I just did a quick little search too, just to get the spelling right, because I saw some questions in chat and just happened to run across this. Yeah, not at all what I was expecting. Found in the rocks, it says.
Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
Considering they say it's from decomposed plants.
Right.
So why is it in the rocks? And then they found it because the history that I heard on it, and I've heard 2 different guys tell the same story now, and I think I heard James say it too. Somehow this one species of ape was eating it. And they were that region, they were bigger and better than the same ape in other regions. And that's the monks started taking it, and like the monks felt the same effects, like they were just better. not in like a superhuman way or anything like that. I think it'd be hard pressed for a supplement to do that for you. But you know,
yeah, you need $6 million to do that.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
What's going on, Andrew B? How we doing, brother?
Oh, not too bad. Zach, I have heard you talk about these, First Amendment auditors quite a bit lately, which I follow them quite a bit, different people. And I posted a little link in the chat there for this one particular one. It's from Audit the Audit. If people haven't heard of that channel before, I suggest, going and checking them out, because they don't just do First Amendment auditing. They do a whole bunch of stuff about, legal research and stuff. And if you want to play the video, I would recommend watching it at about 9 minutes and 40 seconds, roughly. This is just a reminder: is if you get pulled over and you get put into a cop car, you got to look where that cop car is.
I know exactly which one you're talking
train.
about.
Jeez.
She was recently charged. The female officer that I guess parked there, she's been charged. According
Good.
Yeah.
How do you park anything on railroad tracks?
Well, isn't that like driver's ed #1? Like, so how are you a cop if you couldn't pass driver's ed question 1? Like,
Yeah.
you're not even supposed to stop on them, let alone park on them.
Exactly. Even if you're in the car while it's in drive and your foot's on the brake, all you gotta do is pick. You don't stop on the track.
Hell no.
That's just like rule 1. I mean, but we're gonna stop, park, and then put somebody in there and walk away. That's
Yes,
just
a little bit of context to the video here is that she was pulled over because they thought that she had a gun or something like that. And the cop car that pulled her over parks on the freaking railroad tracks. And then they put her in the car, and then they continue searching her vehicle. And then all of a sudden a train comes along and hits the freaking cop car. And fortunately, she survived. But
she was pretty messed up, though. Didn't she have to have a couple surgeries and have some head injuries and a collarbone and some ribs?
Yeah, according to the video, she was in the hospital for, and I shared this on the Melodome the other day, so people already seen it, and that's whatever. But yeah, she had to have multiple types of surgeries, and yeah, she was pretty fucked up. But it's just a reminder: if you get pulled over and get put into a cop car for any reason whatsoever, look where that cop car is, and absolutely refuse if it's on railroad tracks. Because here's the thing: a lot of people are not aware of this. Cops, all police officers, are required to follow the exact same laws of the road that we are, unless they have their emergency lights on, in which case then they're allowed to run red lights or go over the median or whatever else.
Even then, they still have to do it in a safe manner.
Yeah,
they're still supposed to slow
follow
down.
the
There's
speed limit and
still
everything else.
speeds that they're not supposed to exceed, depending on what type of road they're on.
Oh, I saw a
City
cop-
cops can't go as fast as sheriffs. Sheriffs can't go as fast as highway patrol. I don't think any cop's allowed to go over 100 without special permission.
Well, this cop just got manslaughter for killing 2 teenage girls that were just crossing an intersection because he was chasing somebody through the intersection, didn't have sirens on, didn't have lights on, and was doing over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, actually, I heard about a court case where some guy who had some, super sports car or something like that, and was going like 145 down the freeway, and the cops were following him at an extremely high rate of speed. And then what happened is the case got dismissed because the cops are not supposed to follow at that rate of speed, like at 120 miles an hour. So that's basically
Well, yeah,
what happened.
that's
No, well,
at
yeah,
that point they have to call in special units, and then that unit
Helicopters.
specifically has to wait for the okay to even go that speed. And even then, they're only going to do that at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when there's the asshole speeding and 2 other cars on the highway. But yeah, they're supposed to call in helicopters and stuff, especially in an urban environment, like in any kind of city or city limits. The
just
cop
stop.
can't go
You
over
don't-
like 65 or something, depending on where you
Yeah.
are. I'm sure it's different, but
Yeah, it's crazy. No, but I mean, so many of these police, they get that adrenaline rush and they all think they're John McClane now.
Yep.
Got to get the bad guy.
I mean, admit it though. As a man, you wouldn't do the same thing. Like,
Oh,
you
I
can't
had-
not.
I would. It'd be like video game type stuff out there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And yeah, that's why I couldn't be a cop. I don't have the.
I'm a car guy. I couldn't be a cop.
Austin Whitsitt would be a great police officer.
Yeah, he would.
Calm,
calm, cool, collect.
Yeah.
Didn't that Andrew, who were you just talking about? Audit the Auditor? Or
Yeah,
Audit
they
the
did
Audit?
a whole. Yeah,
Didn't
they
he
did a
do
video
one
about
on-
Austin.
Didn't he like fail him or some shit?
Oh yeah, they failed him because
Bro,
he was
I
just
watched all that shit
asking
happen
questions.
live. That was
Then I've seen
Austin definitely handled that like a G.
Yeah, there's auditors that don't like Audit the Audit because he does get some things wrong sometimes. And they have a difference of opinion on like the Constitution, and I don't know. There's some auditors, and it's not like they're at war with them or anything, because Audit the Audit doesn't do audits. He audits audits. He audits auditors, and he gives them grades, and the police at the interactions a grade as well.
That's weird to me.
And even some of the auditors are 100% correct about what they're doing and saying, but he'll find some thing that could be interpreted this way, and he'll like try to give the cops this leeway. And it's like, dude, come on.
Well, once you get to a certain point with that stuff, I mean, it's just like being in court. You have to be very, very specific with what you say, right? So, I mean,
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean
because
to
I
talk.
looked into that when the whole, I guess a lot of people call it like the Freeman movement and stuff, and like all the audit videos started getting real big on YouTube, and traveling in your private commerce and stuff like that. I started looking into it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be so easy. I'm gonna school so many cops. And I started looking into it, and I was like, nah, I'll just stick with a driver's license. I'm good.
I did the same thing. And I looked at it for years and was like, well, because I had my son and his mom was a little psycho. I'm like, you know what? I can't risk it. But as soon as he's old enough, I'm on it.
I didn't even have a family at the time, and I was still like, nah.
And I still have the urge from time to time.
I do too.
Yeah, and that goes along with the whole sovereign citizen situation where people basically just take off their license plates to the vehicles and don't have registration or a license.
It's
That's
little
pretty
different.
much what I was gonna do.
Me too. But
you can't be a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron.
Well, yeah, I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
technically means
No, I
you're
just
a
think
slave.
it's funny when the cops say it. It's like, oh, I'm a free slave. What are you then?
Right. This coming from the
If
guy
I'm a
who
free-range
operates under
slave, what are you?
qualified immunity. A guy who literally laws don't apply to him is calling other people sovereign citizens. Oh, you think the laws don't apply to you? Bitch, the laws don't apply to you. You dumb fuck. I'm not insured by my behavior. I don't have to go have a public bond because I'm a fucking moron and don't give a shit and aren't going to study the rules and the rights of other people. So in case I go ahead and start violating people's rights left and right, and they want to start suing and get sue happy, I have to be insured and bonded by a public bondsman so that I can be covered. Every public official is covered by insurance and bond, so they have that limited liability. So the taxpayer's on the hook. The city, the county, whoever it is for whom they work. They have to pick up the bond.
See a case where they actually had the officers pay like $2,000. One had to pay, and the other one was like $1,600 for pepper spraying a member of the military. He was suing for like 2.6 million or something like that, and ended up getting like 3,600. But it didn't come out of taxpayers' money; it came out of the officers' pocket, which I think that's how it should be.
Well, when I was looking into everything we were just talking about, I think there is a way you can specifically sue the cop and not necessarily the county and get the money from taxpayers.
It depends on if they're I think it has to do with if they're covered by the city's insurance.
That's the bonding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bonding applies if you're operating within your official capacity. If you're outside your official capacity and the city finds that you as a city worker did something that was not right and you have operated outside this is
the rogue vigilante.
Well, this is sort of the buzzword that's going to be the key thing. We don't really have time to get into it a whole lot, but under the jurisdiction sort of
Right.
that bonding and insurance company. So like, oh, nope, sorry, you're not covered here. Then you get to go after his private assets if he's acting outside of his jurisdiction.
Right, that's what it was. You got to prove he was outside his jurisdiction, right? And then you can go after him personally.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you start talking about things like the right to travel is jurisdiction. Yes, when you're operating a motor vehicle on the highway, on the public roads, you have an obligation and a duty to have a driver's license and to license your vehicle and insure your vehicle. The question is, do you fall under that jurisdiction? Yeah. And then that becomes, what is jurisdiction? And most people think of jurisdiction as sort of a location, the location of because I'm in the city limits, I have to follow the city rules. But that's not how that works. Not at all. That is one definition of jurisdiction, yes, but not all of them. There are lots of different definitions of jurisdiction.
Right. It's more so in what capacity are you operating?
Right. Does the subject matter in which you're operating apply to you in this situation? The subject matter jurisdiction. Are you operating in a commercial capacity where you would need a commercial driver's license? You need to have a license. You need to have a car and insurance and everything to be all the paperwork so that you can pay your taxes and the city gets their states and the public isn't forced to support you as a business with our private tax money. Make sure you pay yours. Fine, insure it. That would be the subject matter jurisdiction. However, if you're just come out your house and you're trying to get to work and you hop in your private conveyance, you can absolutely get from point A to point B because that subject matter jurisdiction doesn't apply to you. And the problem is being able to challenge subject matter jurisdiction in such a way that the court says, well, we don't really have proof that any of these laws actually apply to you. We don't have a contract saying, yes, you will abide by them. We're just hoping that you will. And we're going to throw stupid ass words like social contract around to try to make you feel obligated to follow these rules, even though you don't really have to if you don't want to. Because that's how the government is designed, right? The consent of the government. If you're going to be governed, you have to give your consent to be governed. So if the subject matter doesn't apply to you, then you don't have to be governed by that particular set of rules that apply to that subject matter jurisdiction. And that's just a real brief summary. We are running out of time, but I did want to get that out there because that's something that is always sitting in the back of my mind. And it's not very often that I get a chance to let it out. So
no, mine
thanks.
too. And
That's
you're
good
so
shit,
much
man.
better at articulating it than me. And I
Right.
love it when you get on
So
rants like
good.
that. So it's because every emotion I have about the situation just pours out of your mouth beautifully. And when I get on it, I just sound like a babbling fool, like the town drunkard running around like, they got poison in the water. People are like, what are you on about? But you do it and it's like masterfully written. Like, do you rehearse it in the shower?
Yes, I do. I rehearse it
Hey,
in
I
my
wanted to
head.
give a quick little update real quick here. For our little trivia thing we're going to be doing on the Melodome on the 31st. We're going to be doing a trial run for it. No prizes, no money involved in anything at all. But after that, we already got the charity started. There's no money in the account yet, but it's going to be Austin. It's going to be hosting it. I'm going to be doing all the questions. So on the 31st, I encourage everyone to come on over to the Melodome, and anyone can be challenged. So you can come on there. It can be 1v1, 2v2, doesn't really matter. But come on in. And these are not going to be the trivia questions that are going to be used for the charity. I'm just going to pull up some random ones off the internet and just see, how it works with the timing and the score keeping and all that kind of stuff. So it's for a good cause. It's for kids, homeless, and anybody in the flat earth community that needs help. So We have a certain goal we're going to try and reach. And if we reach that goal, we're going to give out the money and then start over again. So I just encourage everyone to participate because it's a great way to learn something and have a little bit of fun.
Awesome, man.
I think it's awesome that you're doing it.
And before we get out of here, I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to the 88 sheriffs of the state of Illinois who have told their governor that we will not be enforcing these unconstitutional gun bans that you have put upon your citizens.
Hell yeah.
88 sheriffs, all the honor, all the respect in the world to you guys. Thank you for upholding your oath and knowing your oath. There's too many people out there that are given this, job to, law, to enforce the law, but so many of them even know the law. And yes, thank you, gentlemen, very much. We need more people like you.
The Reavers of the Shire are the highest law enforcement in the land here in the United States. Not the federal government, which is awesome. Yeah. It's those sheriffs that get to be able to stand up at the border and say, no, sir, you're not allowed in here.
Well, no, I just love that you gave us I love that too, but I love that you gave us the history lesson on the Reavers of the Shire back in the day. That was awesome.
It's really interesting sort of how we got to where we are with all of this control and nonsense that they're trying to, well, they're not trying, they're doing it. This monopoly on violence is what it is. You do what we say, or we'll just throw you in jail and let you try to sort it out in the courts. Good luck.
Love you guys. Thank you all. We will be here this afternoon. We will have James from Grounded Extracts. Hopefully, Nigel will pop in. Thank y'all. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Zombie. Love y'all. Thank you for the laugh. That was beautiful.
Make sure you guys tune into the Melodome and check out the trivia for charity. I think it's going to be really awesome. I love the idea. Otherwise, we'll see you back here this evening, or perhaps next Tuesday on truthfrequencyradio.com, TFRlive.com for more of the Ironworks. Till then, be good, be well. We love you. Bye-bye.